morning, PAFW family and friends. Happy Wednesday. This is our Motivational Wednesday class today. I'm standing right now on a beach. It looks like we're on a beach with the blue ocean behind me and a beautiful blue sky. With clouds. It's really beautiful. Like I said, on Motivational Wednesday, I love to stimulate our imagination and have backgrounds that sort of are calming and peaceful, because that's the thing that's really important when we empower ourselves. It's just to have those moments where we can just take a deep breath and be nice and calm. So again, we have a special Motivational Wednesday plan today. I'm going to show you some tips from actors, a clip I found. I love sharing clips with you guys about what other actors say about their craft and how they develop their acting skills. So Wednesdays we go back and forth between motivational phrases we say ourselves and interviews. Sometimes there'll be live interviews. Sometimes I think it's nice just to learn about what other actors say about how they develop their craft. So we'll get to that in a minute. But before we do that, you know what we have to do? A little bit of moving and grooving. Ooh, that felt good. Guys, like I always say, find a playlist that makes you feel good. I love some of the quote-unquote oldies, like Earth, Wind & Fire. There's a lot of Motown, Earth, Wind & Fire on my playlist. And guys, when I'm feeling a little down, having a bad day, sometimes moving and grooving for about 5 minutes can really lift my spirits. I love to do moving and grooving before I have an audition. Just a lot of ways just to let go of any stress and to really focus. All right? So before we, so today, guys, I said before, I think what's really amazing about being an actor, being an artist, is the opportunity to learn from other actors and artists. And probably any profession, but an actor or actor, other directors. And luckily, especially now, there's so much rich material on YouTube and other interviews, and that's why I share clips on our Tuesday trivia and sometimes on Motivation Wednesday to learn about our craft. What makes other actors, what do they do to be at the top of their game? What do they think is important? And I really think it's another way for us to learn, and I love that David does Meet the Biz, but I do this also because we want to give you guys as much information and material for you to be your very best. And I think part of being motivated is to learn from other people. So this is a clip, and I'm going to show these, like I said, every other Wednesday of 10 actors sharing what's important to them. I invite you to listen and really take it in. A couple of the actors, Alan Rickman and Christopher Plummer, are no longer with us. This is about a 5-year-old. But take it in. Really, really listen to what these guys are saying. Take it in, listen, and I hope you enjoy it. And I will also have, there is some writing, some text before each clip we go to, so I will be saying that out loud, so that will be my voice, but then add into it. All right, let's go to this amazing clips, and I hope you enjoy them. Pixar Films, 10 actors on acting. Alan Rickman, Christoph Waltz, Jake Gyllenhaal, Jessica Chastain, Robert De Niro, Edward Norton, Christopher Plummer, Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, and Michael B. Jordan. The art of embracing
every actor who plays theater can tell you that when you come off stage one evening and you say, I nailed it. Tonight was the perfect performance. I hit everything that I set out and blah, blah, blah. Chances are at about 99% that the audience was bored. But the cosmic justice to that story is that it works the other way around as well. When you go off and say, that was the bottom of my career, and I will not be able to ever show my face to my friends and colleagues again, chances are, that, unfortunately, they're not 99%, but, you know, whatever, that people will come up to you and say, that was a great night.
Mind your mentors. Matt Damon speaking.
I had a great teacher in high school, and I felt like I wanted to be an actor, but I went to high school at 13 years old as a freshman and knew that I was going to take classes with this guy. He was kind of very well known in my town, and he really was a guy named Jerry Specca, and he really was just a huge part of why Ben and I pursued it with such discipline and always took our work so seriously. He was he was a great teacher in that way. He taught even kids who didn't go into drama, professionally, but just took his classes, got something about a work ethic from him, because he always he forced you to take your work so seriously, and those were great lessons to have at a really young age. Lucky, I remember going to college and feeling sorry for all of my friends because we got to the end of college and they didn't know what to do, and which, I mean, I'm sure most people don't know what they're going to do when they're 21, you know.
Right.
But I knew when I was 13, basically.
Go to the plumber, learn how to whisper so that you can be heard in the back row.
Do plays, go into the theater. You can make money, but always come back to the theater where you can learn your craft. You learn it as important, just as important for the camera to know the theater. It gives you such confidence. Because if you can play and be heard in front of a lot of live audiences, then there's nothing to scare you in front of a camera. So do that, because then it'll train your whole body. We're just not looking at you in a close-up. It's your whole body and your whole voice and your projection. Learn how to whisper so that you can be heard to the back row. And then you're getting somewhere. But that's all I can say, because I don't want to bore them with, now you must read. That speech from Jaques, you know, all the world's a stage and I want you to do it for me tomorrow. No, I'm none of that jazz. They'll find out.
Alan Rickman, nurture your imagination.
Whenever young actors now say to me, what advice do you give me? You know, I'm thinking about training, I want to be an actor or whatever. I say, forget about acting. And I really mean it at that point in time, because whatever you do as an actor is cumulative. It's about, so I say, go to art galleries, listen to music, know what's happening on the news in the world, and form opinions, develop your taste and judgment, so that when a quality piece of writing is put in front of you, your imagination, which you've nurtured, has something to bounce off of.
Edward Norton, find words that speak.
One of the very first things I ever said to Gavin was, I think your writing's great, I think it's really interesting, but I don't personally have any interest in doing a cop film just to do a cop film. I told him, I said, I'm only interested in this if we're pursuing on some level something that resonates with the times we're living in right now.
It's not about a genre or about even sometimes a specific character. It's if I feel that there is an honesty and a sort of beating heart that exists underneath material. You know, so often you can say, oh, well, I really want to play a cop, so, but that isn't really, to me, the reason why, for instance, a movie like End of Watch, I gravitated towards it, because not only somebody like David Ayer, who I think is so brilliant as a writer and as a director, but I think what really drew me to it was the relationship and the heart in the middle of this film. You know, I mean, we've seen so many cop genre movies, and you know, this is different because of that friendship, and the friendship could be taken out of that car and put in any other context. And I think I look for that in everything I do, some sort of sense of honesty and truth between characters.
Jessica Chastain, actors are not puppets, good directors are not puppeteers.
Christopher Nolan,
Sure.
Guillermo del Toro, they all feel in the world of what that artist is. I have a lot of respect for directors, and I'm not very interested in being in a film where 20 people are directing. It's direction by committee. I like to know the artist that I'm working alongside with, the collaboration. So when signing up for a film, I've seen all their other films. On set, I mean, during I rehearse a lot on my own in terms of finding who the character is, and I will include the director if they want to be included in that. Guillermo del Toro gave me 10 pages of backstory for my character, from the moment she was born until the moment the film starts, of what her favorite smells are, what her favorite foods are, her relationship with her parents. Usually that's information I write on my own. Some directors like to be included. Sometimes you say to a director, this is what I was thinking. They kind of go, okay. But you know, it doesn't really matter. I know I am not the kind of actor that wants to do a scene where the director says, it's one thing, it's fine if it happens like one time in the movie, but if the director says, I need you to move the glass from here to here on that line, I feel sometimes when directors are too overbearing with their actors on, you need to do that, and on this line, then you need to stand up. I live for surprises. I love to be surprised by the director. I like to not know what's going to happen sometimes when I'm on set. I love to be surprised by the other actors. To me, that's the magic of what filmmaking is. I love that life. So for me, that's important when working with a director. I don't want to work with someone where I'm like, I could be any actor, that you're just using me as a puppet.
Less equals more. Robert De Niro.
Yeah, and it's simpler than you think, and it's very hard for actors, and I get caught up in that myself, where you have to do more, do something, and you don't have to do anything, nothing, and you're better off, and it'll work the way people are in life. They don't do anything. They could, I'm talking to you and I'm looking at your expression, and you could have been told that somebody in your family was this or that, some terrible thing. You're still going to have the same look on your face, and that says more, allows the audience to read into it as opposed to you telling them what they should feel. And actors tend at times to try and say they have to give it something, and they don't have to give it anything. So with David, if we're just working and working and doing all these things, you don't have time to think about, well, this or that, or how do I spin it or interpret it. You just have to do it, and it'll take care of itself.
Embrace the audition. Michael B. Jordan.
It's a process, man. Auditioning is it's some actors hate it, and I know as one point in time where I really hated it, and then I started to become more confident, and I guess the small successes built up your confidence, and now then you don't really mind going to auditions anymore. It's just like, I'll go in and read. Let's go do it. I think it's fun. It's like, I think it's it's a competition in a way. I want to feel like I want to feel like I worked harder than everybody else. So when I walk into audition, it's like, you got to have a little, not cockiness, but confidence to it. Like now, the auditions, the roles I want to go in there, I want to be the only me. I want to be looking around everybody else that doesn't like me and still go get it. It's that competition. And it's always the usual suspects. You see the same people all the time. It's all the same auditions, and it's like, especially when you start booking those jobs, now you're the guy that are in the room with everybody else that hasn't been booked, that hasn't been, booking the job. So it's always that kind of, oh man, congratulations, congratulations.
Characters live and breathe with Tom Hanks.
There's no shortcut. There's no excuse for familiarity with the text. I mean, that's an old lesson that I learned a long time ago, but I didn't really understand it before. You have to know deep down inside somehow the truth behind what the character is going through, even though you will maybe you may never get a chance in order to actually verbalize it. But you have to understand it. You have to know that the risk that the character is running every step of the way. In Sleepless in Seattle, to me, was all about a guy who was honestly saying, my wife how will I ever love again? Exactly. I can't do that because the love of my life is gone. And in You've Got Mail was a guy, I am going to repeat the life of my grandfather and father. I'm going to have 5 marriages, and none of them are going to work out. I don't want that.
When all else fails, it helps to know Ben Affleck.
Ben and I talked about it recently because, we were young, and we were going to New York together when he was 14 and I was 16, and we were auditioning for stuff, going to New York by ourselves. We had these whole we had these careers, they weren't going anywhere really, but we'd go, we'd audition, we'd get called back, and I think about, wow, we were really, really young, and I think we fed on each other's enthusiasm. I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't met Ben.
A special thanks to Charlie Rose of Camera with Sam Jones, BAFTA Productions, and Theatre Museum Canada. I hope you enjoyed that. I like to take notes, but you can also, if you have a recorder on your cell phone, you can record something that you like. You can always watch the class again. If there's something you missed, you can watch it again with things like the art of embracing imperfection. Because we don't have to be perfect, right? It's a paragraph thing that listed out when Matt Damon talked about embracing your work ethic and how important using your imagination is. All right, and loving the words that you're saying, finding words that you can get behind and speak to, and that when you say them from your heart, not because they're words, but because you believe in those words as the character. These are words you really want to say. Those are some of the things I got from it. And again, not using your imagination, because to me, our imaginations are the strongest tool we can have as actors. It can carry us away, even when we're on the beach or on the ocean, and they're actually in my home. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today. Tomorrow I'll be back with another character creation challenge. So let's end it at the very beginning with a little more. You are amazing, you are fabulous, you are wonderful, and I will see you tomorrow. Have an amazing day, and believe in the power of your dreams.